Okay. Hello and welcome everybody to this episode of the Consider Pouchers podcast. My name is Carissa and I am the director of Considerate Pouchers in Sweden. And I am here with Mikael Rätse. I hope I said that at least okay. And today we are going to talk a little bit about what's going on in Germany. So, Mikael, would you like to ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, hello, Carissa. Thanks for inviting me. So I'm Michael. I'm 27 years old. I live in northern Germany. I work in the telecommunications industries, and I'm also an advocate and trying to push forward, let's say, a reconsideration of the politics we have here in place with regards to pouches and other nicotine alternatives.
Nice. So, what's the story behind you becoming an advocate for nicotine pouches?
So me personally, I love doing sports. I love being outside. I also love being among other people. So a couple years back, I was looking into the different other alternatives and options there are to consume nicotine in a more, let's say, considerate way, in a better way, in a way which is harm-free. And I found pouches, but unfortunately, though, they are prohibited in Germany. And I did not want to give up the benefits of nicotine, which are proven also, and that might be, for instance, an improved cognitive performance, for instance, or an ability to perform well in sports. I didn't want to give up on this. That's the reason why I went for pouches a couple of years ago, and I'm trying to push forward and try to, let's say, support a possible legalization here in the German market.
Right. And how did it come about this ban on nicotine pouches in Germany? I mean, it's still legal in the European Union, so why did Germany choose to go in another direction?
So you see, for instance, in Sweden and in Norway, you have proven evidence that there are alternatives to cigarettes, for instance. Sweden is considered a smoke-free country, and despite all those benefits and pretty obvious evidence, um, the the German bureaucracy still considers those products as food, which is, in my opinion, lacking logical sense. It doesn't make any sense. So, like these pouches are not legal in Germany, and they are not accessible either in Germany. Although there are ways to purchase them in, let's say, the gray market.
Mm.
There's different ways to purchase nicotine pouches, for example, on online shops or through cross-border purchases. But of course, there is a couple of risks to it. You don't know exactly where it's from, and customers ordering those products on the gray market cannot be informed that well about the ingredients, the content, the quality of the product.
And I suppose when you buy things on the gray market, there's not a lot of age controls either. Um,
There is not. Yeah.
yeah. Right. So, how many people are using nicotine pouches? There might not be an exact number, but is it something that most people know about? Do people know what nicotine pouches are? Or is it a completely novel product that most Germans don't have ever thought of?
So I would say in general, it is not as common and known among the German population. Although in different areas, if you look, for example, into the field of sports, if you look into the field of jobs that require a certain physical performance, even for instance in the finance sector, where you have to be concentrated, where you have to be focused, their pouches are pretty common already. Nevertheless, they are still purchased through those, let's say, gray market channel, and there is not such thing like a regulated market for it. Yeah.
So people have started using it a lot because of its cognitive benefits.
Yes, among other things.
Interesting.
And you also see many former smokers moving to pouches. But still, if you look at the numbers, which do not lie, there is still a pretty high percentage of smokers among the German population. It's always around 32, 31, 30%, which is an insane number if you look at Sweden as a comparison, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. We're around 5%, so that's a huge, really a huge difference. What groups of people are have picked up nicotine the fastest, or nicotine pouches the fastest? You said finance people, but also people trying to stop smoking. Is
Yes,
there a difference
exactly.
in gender and age?
I think that the younger generations are more open to new alternatives, which
Mm,
might appear a certain way to the elderly,
mm,
on the other hand. Um, but if you're also looking at consuming tobacco as a sportsman, most people doing sports, most people who want to compete on a professional level, for example, they have to be very careful about their nutrition, about their way of living, about their way of consuming products like tobacco, alcohol, and stuff like this. So they're among the younger population, among the ones doing sport, for example, the nicotine pouches have really gained relevance. Yeah.
mm. Okay. So, what is needed for Germany to change their policy against nicotine pouches, do you think?
So so what is urgently needed, I would say, um, is a legalization, but with clear regulations regarding product safety. So this would, for example, ensure that no children have access to nicotine pouches. You can, for example, also the cap, or you can cap the nicotine content in each pouch. This is also one way of limiting and preventing abuse, of course. And then what, in my opinion, should also be done is limiting the way those products are designed. If you have very childish looking cans in which are designed in a colorful way with different flavors like pink, bubblegum, or whatever there might be, I think you have to really regulate also its appearance so that no children think of it like a toy or something uh, which which is appealing to them, right? So there is
Mm,
indeed ways of regulating the product, um, but still you have to legalize it.
mm. And is there any political support among the established parties to legalize nicotine pouches?
So I would say that so indeed some politicians they have acknowledged and recognized the voices coming out of the population voting for legalization of nicotine pouches. But still, it's very hard and it's a very slow process. You can really tell that they focus on other priorities. They are
Mm,
not necessarily as interested in new topics like this, um, with which you cannot really uh, leverage voters among the population. So this, until now, has not been acknowledged a topic which helps politicians um, gaining votes, right? So
mm,
unfortunately, this has been very slow. There has not been as much support by politicians yet, but I am trying to step in contact with them, set up personal meetings, and try to just get in contact with them to make them aware of this topic, which, being prohibited, is not as visible and known, right?
mm. Right. And thank you for that work that you are doing. Um, is there any media coverage on nicotine pouches at all?
Mm, So I'm not very sure about that, to be honest with you. I know that with regards to vaping devices,
Mm,
there has been a lot of content being broadcasted all through the media. There is a lot of information, there is a lot of misinformation, but when it comes to nicotine pouches, I would say that it is that it's still not visible, and
mm,
um, it has not been picked up by so many reporters or broadcasting company making documentaries about it.
mm. So do you think that um, raising awareness amongst the politicians is a way to get this question up on the agenda and maybe reverse the legislation that is in place in Germany?
100%, yes. So in my opinion, the politicians, they should really open their eyes. They should also be looking to our neighbors. They should look at very good examples like Sweden or Norway, um, what has been accomplished there. I mean, this is very good evidence for a topic to gain importance, right? And in my opinion, it should definitely be a topic, a subject to discussion for them, because the result, and the result might be a giant decrease of smokers among the population. It's a big win-win situation for all. I mean, you basically could save lives by legalizing those products, and you could also make the economy benefit, for example. I mean, right now, due to so many smokers in Germany, uh, health insurance company, they are having a bad time caring about all those. I mean, if you make your population happier and healthier, everybody's going to benefit from it.
Yeah, of
So I'm
course.
really jeopardizing and wondering why it has not yet gained that relevance it deserves.
Yeah, in a country with so many smokers, it's changing to a safe alternative would make such a huge difference for people.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And if there are any consumers watching this from Germany, what should they do? What can they do to make a change?
Again, please.
So if there are any consumers out here watching this video and wondering what can I do to change the prohibition in Germany, is there anything they can do?
So what I would also, or what I would always propose is really getting in contact with politicians.
Mm,
They have the obligation to reply and answer your questions. So they are sort of forced to be there for whatever query you have. Um, the respective local politician obviously does not have the leverage and the power to really uh, put a thing on the agenda in Berlin. But still, in my opinion, having such an important topic there, uh, which could end up in lives being saved, I think it's worth talking to whoever there is, offering their support and their willingness to listen to things. So I would really propose to everyone who's trying to let's say, be part of that movement, to to talk to local politicians, to make them open doors in Berlin for them, and then to spread the word. I mean, this is probably one of the very few ways to have a topic like this being talked about, because since it is prohibited, it does not play an active role in politics right now. So in order to talk about and change things where something is prohibited, you really just have to be very eager and have to be really looking for this contact up there in Berlin. Yeah.
Mm. Thank you. I'm sure that is very helpful for people listening to this. Well, thank you so much for talking with us about Germany. Um, I really hope that we will see a change in Germany soon, so that
Yeah,
we
me
can
too.
start saving a lot of lives in Germany as well.
Thank you very much. Thanks for inviting me and having me on your platform.
Thank you. Ooh. Well done.